I'm rubbing my hands not because it's a cold day in Bangalore, because I'm literally eagerly awaiting the Super Fours of Asia Cup 2023, and Game 1 of the Super Fours is going to be happening right here, and we're going to be previewing that contest from the Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore, the last of the Lahore leg before everything moves on to Colombo. I'm talking about Pakistan taking on Bangladesh. We're moments away from the toss. We'll bring you all the team news and, of course, the breaking news are from the middle, but we can give you some team news beforehand, which I'll tell you in a bit. But let me always introduce my guests first. Gulkirat and Nikhil Popar as ever. By the way, all you guys watching, please like this video for starters. You guys know the drill, all you usual lot. And we will take your questions as always. Unlike any other cricket platform, name me another cricket platform which takes your questions, which is so interactive like ours. Anyway, with that pleasantries out of the way, we'll just give you a little bit of team news, like I said. Shanto, who was brilliant for that 89 that he scored, he's out of the tournament with the hamstring. So Bangladesh fans might be just sweating a little bit. But there's Liton Das. I don't know if he's match ready and he'll slot right in, but let's see how that trickles on. And for Pakistan, they already announced their team for this one, which is, of course, Mohammad Nawaz missing out and Fahim Ashraf, good old Fahim Ashraf coming back in. Right, Gulkirat, I'll start with you. Bangladesh versus Pakistan, man, they haven't played that much ODI cricket since the 2019 World Cup. And then when you look at the stats since the 2015 World Cup, Bangladesh have actually beaten them 4 out of 5 times in 50-over format. What do you have to say to that?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not wrong, 3 of those games came in Bangladesh,
Yes.
where Bangladesh have been a very strong side. In fact, I remember post the 2015 World Cup, there was a period where they beat Pakistan, South Africa, and India,
Yeah.
all of them at home. And very recently, again, they beat India at home. So, those numbers maybe because of that. But I think uh, going into today's fixture, you'll still have to say that Pakistan are the favorites. They're the better, more well-rounded side, but it's going to be a well contested battle. Yes, Shanto's out, but the advantage of someone like Liton Das coming in is that batting order becomes a little diverse in terms of right hand, left hand. They were very much loaded with left handers, so that changes the dimension somewhere.
Okay, Nikhil, I'm coming to you right now because just before we went on air, you had a feeling it's a double hundred kind of day. Why do you think so, my friend?
There's a lot of batting potential today, and a great batting deck. There are people who have enjoyed batting against each other in these two sides, and especially if Pakistan bat first. I don't know. Fakhar Zaman could still have the one great day that he has, the annual day, where he just goes berserk and you can't do anything to stop him. But I don't know. It could be a very tricky pick, but I feel Imam could have a very good day today. He's been in form coming into this game. Had 21 scores of 50 plus in the last 29 innings, if I'm not wrong, in this format. That's a lot of runs and a lot of consistent runs. So, and he's someone when he gets in, he doesn't give it away that easily. And he's had a run out and a off dismissal. So, I don't know. It just feels you obviously have Babar Azam to do the job, but which is why maybe the new ball will be critical for Bangladesh. Let's see.
It will be, and we'll talk about some fascinating subplots and matchups. We always do that on cricket.com. In fact, if you guys haven't read the preview analysis on this one, don't worry because we will show that to you right now because there's plenty of going on our website. As you can see, yesterday, Only Afghanistan New is what the feature has been titled. There's lots of news as well, as you can see over there, and the preview on our website. I just want to, of course, show you that pre-match analysis, which is written by Akshay Kumaraswamy. And there's some fascinating subplots which we'll talk to, Fakhar Zaman's form and all of that. But right now, the two captains are out there in the middle. And Gurkirat, I was actually doing some research about this fixture, right? In particular matchups. It tells us one thing, that Bangladesh batters actually enjoy pace more than spin. And Pakistan's pacers are probably the best in the world. So how is that going to be playing out between those two? You're on mute. Hello, it's fine,
at one point of time, this has to happen in the show. But
like
yeah,
how Arshdeep Singh mandatory bowls a no ball and an extra, you always will have to give one mute to the viewers.
so no, Yeah, yes, they some of them do enjoy pace a lot more than spin. Liton Das is a very good example of that. But still, against this pace attack, I believe you'd still like to, face spinners. Uh, Fahim Ashraf, I think, has been primarily brought in because after the India game, they realized that they will need one more pace option somewhere. Maybe if the ball swinging, I don't know, Fahim Ashraf could bowl in the first 10 because when it is swinging, he has the ability to move it around. But then I'm not sure in place of who does he bowl because I don't think he's a better bowler when it comes to extracting any movement out of the surface. So I'm really interested to see how Babar uses Fahim Ashraf as a bowler because usage of a spin bowler once you have these three pacers is still a little more straightforward, but you don't want to be in a situation where in your mind you want to get overs out of Fahim Ashraf when he can extract the most movement, but then not use your better exponents because you want to use them in the middle overs. So I don't know how much does this really change things for Pakistan as a bowling unit. It's worth a try because I feel they are also going to try these combinations out before the World Cup. But I still feel that their previous combination of having Nawaz there was better. It's just that you have to be flexible. If you have just thought of that I am only going to bowl paces in the first 15 and the last 15, it will make things easier for your for the opponent batters to milk around your spinner. So I believe there has to be a change in strategy and not really a change in personnel there.
Okay, let's see how Fahim Ashraf goes. And like you guys can see in the ticker, Bangladesh winning the toss and batting first out there in what seems a beautiful day for batter, right? Nix, you mentioned it earlier. All the games so far, the batters have just licked their lips looking at Lahore and the deck over there. So has the toss have any advantage in this regard now that Bangladesh are batting first, Mikhail Popat?
I think it gives them a good chance that you can set the tone for the game, and if conditions are such that the ball isn't doing much, mind you, Shaheen Naseem will still find something out of somewhere. But that this is also a time where you can then make the most of that first power play. That you set the strong base, and that's what we saw them do in the previous game, where a good opening stand just calms the nerves down, and then we've seen that in Pakistan in the past that if you take care of the first spell from the two main spirits, it makes them push Rauf earlier. You get Shadab into the game earlier. While Fahim Ashraf could still pick up wickets if they look to attack him, but at least you are on the ascendancy and then you are dictating the course of the game. So, firstly, very keen to see their lineup, and if Das gets in, they'll want him to come good because I'm sure Mehdi it was good, but Shaheen and Nasim should be able to find an answer to Mehdi.
On their lineup, Nick, would you pretty much stick with what they did last time around, pushing Mehdi up as an opener?
I think if Das is back, I think Mehdi can drop down. He's done well at the top, and you need that stability and solidity in form player up top. So I think Das slots straight up, and then you have the usual suspects down the order. With Shanto out, I think Shakib could possibly be batting higher, which is how I always felt it should be. And Shakib has had good numbers against Pakistan. So
Yeah.
today will be the day Bangladesh will want Shakib and Rahim both to have a good score. And of course, there is Tawhid Rizai, but I'm not talking about him.
Yeah, because Nick has mentioned quite extensively in all our previews so far. By the way, let's just quickly take or shout out people in the comments. Sports Kali, hello Kapil Varma, good to see you. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel. Cricket.com would not disappoint you, that's for sure. Sankeet Jeet saying good afternoon. Pretty cool Batman Dark Knight picture there. And Santosh Urappa, the gem of a man who, of course, has been following Cricket.com for ages right now, giving us a little team news. Yes, we know that Litton comes in. Now, I want to just get Gurkira's thoughts, but before that, just a couple of stats to show you on this Wednesday afternoon, looking ahead to this game. And we'll, of course, feature the playing 11 for you guys for the benefit of you guys who missed the toss. Now, I know Bangladesh are batting first, but we have to just show you some crazy stats. You look at Mohammad Yusuf's name there, Mohammad Hafiz's name there, but one name stands out, Babar Azam, and I think by the looks of things, he might just notch up another 100, depending on how much Bangladesh get. Nick's mentioned it to me that he averages about 76 at home, which is just ridiculous. The second thing we want to show you is again Babar Azam, and it depends where he really gets into, because since that ODI World Cup 2019, he's gone on to, of course, either make a 50 or 122 times, which is ridiculous. And then we move about the bowlers, because most wickets for Pakistani pacers in ODI since 2021. You guessed it, it's that trio: Raush, Shaheen and Shah and Naseem. And then when we talk about just another couple more Pakistan things before we show you the head-to-head. Now, this is something that we'll, of course, talk about, I'm guessing, more in the post-match scheme of things and how Fakhar Zaman goes, because his form has been questionable. But as you can see, Babar, Fakhar, and Imam ruling the roost. And finally, last but not least, you can get more of these stats in the carousel on Instagram, so follow us there. Bangladesh vs Pakistan, last 5 ODI encounters. And as I told you at the top of the show, Bangladesh winning 4 out of the 5. And like Gurkirat mentioned, 3 of those encounters were in Bangladesh. Right. So I just want to ask Gurkirat right now, Bangladesh, I know that they'll start as underdogs in this one, let's be honest, given the fact that Pakistan love dominating teams at home. How do you beat this Pakistan side? And can they beat this Pakistan side?
Yes, they can. Definitely, they definitely have the pedigree to do it. There are batters good enough that can take care of the Pakistan bowling attack. As Nikhil mentioned, that you play out the first 10 overs, then Pakistan have to do the running the running bit. I mean, they will have to make those changes. And someone like Liton Das is perfectly capable of seeing out those 10 overs and even attacking pacers when he's set. He does have a good game of the back foot. So there is that. So does Shakib and Mushfiqur Rahim. Hridoy, everyone talks about him being a very good talent, and for a reason. So there is the batting to put up a good total, and if they and pace bowling has now has now I think this trio of pace bowlers that Bangladesh have of Shariful, Taskin, and Mahmood, they have also been quite good in terms of bowling together. So there is definitely the skill and pedigree. If there's a total in the range of 290 300 that is posted on the board, it is not going to be easy for Pakistan. And I think it's good that Bangladesh are batting first, because Pakistan are also not the most comfortable chasers around. There are some teams that prefer chasing. Pakistan is definitely not that team. So if it's good that Bangladesh are batting first. It allows them to set up the game and then put pressure on Pakistan. So this could actually be a good game. And yes, Bangladesh go in as sort of underdogs, but it's I won't be really surprised if Bangladesh beat Pakistan today. It's not something that cannot happen. You're on mute.
Nice, nice. We have
My
the
God,
we have the
Nikhil,
mandatory.
I've been bitten by the Gurkirat bug. But I was going to ask you, I mean, essentially, what is the template? We just heard Shakib at the toss as well saying we have to beat our best. Define Bangladesh at their best. Score 250, 217, then their spinners come into the game, or you need much more on this batting deck?
This is for me or for Nikhil?
Nikhil.
I think the template is pretty much what they did in the last game, where you saw a good stand and then you just build on it with two guys going on to make big tons, and by big tons I mean it's relatively just centuries, but they batted deep into the innings, which then allows everybody else to just come in and go for it. So ideally, that is ideal template to see. With Pakistan, I think, as I said, very keen to not lose wickets to Shaheen and Naseem earlier, because you have Fahim, you have Shadab, who's had a decent time, not always been among the wickets, but bowling first, it's a different kettle of fish as compared to bowling with a score on board and opposition having the pressure of going after you. So that's when he also gets a lot more wickets. So I think in that regards, very, very crucial the first power play. Take 40 runs, I'm fine with it. Don't chase. I'd rather be 50 for one than being 70 for three. It is, I don't know, small margins, but you just stay in the game that much more, because you know the strength of the opposition is pace, and you know it is kind of predictable in the way how Pakistan rotate their options. So that's where I feel they can just plan it better. And I think Aga Salman and Fahim Ashraf spells could be very, very handy. There are enough left-handers, and even otherwise, I'm sure Pakistan will want to try a few things out. So very keen to see how Bangladesh counter that, because there is a lot of batting in that, as Pali said. Now it is just about using them rightly at the right entry point.
Okay. Paji, 334 and 291 respectively so far we've seen in Lahore in this Asia Cup at least. Prediction time, please, because how much do you think Bangladesh could muster batting first? In what is pristine batting conditions by the looks of things?
Let's go somewhere in between. Is this a fresh pitch or is this a used one?
It's a used one, according to the reports I've read.
Yeah, but
If it's
it they said dry deck, and South Africa scored to 190 in that game. So I have no hopes and trust on pitch reports now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, pitch reports really
So
doesn't
if
matter.
it's a dry deck, a similar prediction as to one I had yesterday, that a 280, 290, but Bangladesh are very well capable of putting a total of around 310. And I have a feeling one of the or maybe this could be a day for Mushfiqur Rahman to do well, or Shakib to do
Rahim,
well, because
Rahim.
Yeah, who's Rahman?
ये कल से नबी नायब सब कर रहा
ये सब कुछ confusion ज़्यादा चल रही है. But yeah, this could really be the day for someone like Mushfiqur Rahim
But you
to.
always take his name. Even in the preview, you were like, yeah, bro, he's a
Yeah,
crisis
but
man.
see,
Kya kar lenga?
see, one of the reasons that I take his name is because he's been very consistent. He's been that player who's done well, and he's continuously improved. And I rate him highly as a batter. I know many just get irritated by his antics and all of that, but I genuinely rate him highly as a batter.
But I mean, Nix, do you agree with him? Because I'm trying to look at Mushfiqur's numbers here. Yeah, sure, he has good ODI pedigree and all of that. But what is his recent performances, man? 25, 13, 14. Oh, yeah, okay, sure, a couple of T20s. But 13 and 25 so far. He has to
Yeah, but
come
it's
good.
also yeah, but it's also the batting order. Now he's batting way too low sometimes. In some games, he's batting at a spot that is probably two spots down for him. He's
So where should he
someone.
bat?
Ideally, I think number four is the best place for him to bat. Could see him today, but I won't be harsh if they put Tawhid at four and then Rahim at five. Again, the my point with position is it has to be around the 25 over mark is what where I feel he should probably come in the 20s, so that he's able to set himself up for the last 10. And again, it is a cliche, but it is something that is worked perfectly for Rahim. That when he's set, you've seen Rahim play some exquisite and very classical shots, and he finds the fence with different type of shots. It's not just the cover drive or the he's able to go back, he's able to give himself room and go over extra cover as well. So there is a lot of options. One of the better players who could play pace as well. So there is all pedigree there, as Paji said. But I think staying in this deep battle lineup, it has to be the right spots, at least for the seniors. You can rotate Afif, Tawheed, and others around, but I think Shakib and Raim have to occupy the crucial spots now with no Shanto.
Okay, we'll take some comments coming through. Of course, keep them coming through. We're here for the next about 8 to 10 minutes, 100%. Sports fans saying Mehdi Hassan is a real crisis man. His innings ensured that they win the last match. And Pranav going on to say, Babar Azam has this tendency to go lesser bowlers when pushed. Bangladesh's first target should be player first 10, irrespective of run rate. Pakistan have their own troubles in the middle order, middle overs. Do you agree with Pranav Gurkirat here?
Yes, I tend to, because when we looked at numbers uh, post the 2019 World Cup, or no, sorry, in the last 2 years, the highest wicket taker for Pakistan in the middle overs, which is 11 to 40, has been Mohammad Nawaz. So uh, all of Shaheen, Rauf, and Naseem have, I don't think they have wickets in double digits in the middle overs. So yes, when pushed, there is a tendency, because Babar has shown while he's captaining in the PSL or captaining for Pakistan in T20s or in ODIs, that he's not someone who wants to change his bowling template. Last game we saw this, that uh, Hardik and Ishan Kishan had become very very comfortable versus the spinners, but between overs 15 and 35, only 2 overs of pace were bowled. So there is that tendency with Babar.
There is that tendency with Babar. Next, you mentioned it as well, the fact that it's interesting how he'll use Fahim Ashraf and Aga Salman. What about another bowler in terms of Iftikhar? Will they go to him as another spin option? Because I know they have three spinners. Shadab, of course, is the frontline spinner. So seven
See,
bowling options, but
I feel
surely
if
they
they're
can't use all, right?
I
Gurkirat?
feel if they're going to Iftikhar, then wheels have come off already. If Iftikhar is bowling, that means that Bangladesh is in a strong position, because Iftikhar is not the first part-time bowling option that they go to. It is Aga Salman. So if Iftikhar has come on to bowl, it means that one of the maybe Aga Salman has gone for runs, and one of the other five bowlers is also going for runs, and that is why you are trying out Iftikhar. Uh, yeah, that's my reading of it. If Bangladesh are succeeding in making Babar bring on Iftikhar, it means that they've been able to score runs off, the fourth, fifth, or the sixth bowler in the lineup.
But I think this gives us an impression, even though Mohammad Nawaz, no disrespect to him, with Fahim Ashraf coming in, I'm looking at this Pakistan 11 on paper, Nix. Is it literally more balanced? Seven bowling options, and they're batting till pretty much nine. I'm including Shaheen Shah Afridi here. Is that like a comfort blanket?
See, I think it is the 9 players are set in stone there, which
Hmm.
I think we knew, and they are good enough players to win the matches on that day. That is top four, and the three that you have in the Pacers. Shadab can have his good days, but I still feel there are holes to be plugged there. Which, see, on paper you can have batting depth, but it rarely translates into performance. We've seen that with many teams. So, as Padi said, having Fahim Ashraf in the side is one thing, but you have to find the right usage of him. Now, if you use him with the new ball, does it come at the expense of Naseem? Cannot be that. Does it come at the expense of Rof coming in early? Cannot be that. If it is middle overs, then you know Fahim isn't someone who can he's in an you can use him to use the short stuff and get the pace on the deck. But it is if it is not doing anything, he can easily be lined up as well. So on paper, it looks good, but I don't think the strengths and the people who are playing in that spot are actually just like, let's take an example of a Liam Plunkett. Now if Fahim Ashraf was already in that example in that role, then you can understand that, okay, now this is great. Yeah, they have two great power play bowlers, one very good end overs option, and they have one guy who's enforcer in the middle. So then suddenly it looks like, oh, now who do you take on? But that's not the
Yeah.
case in this attack. So while it could still work, but there is room for Bangladesh to get into that lineup.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
uh,
Go on.
the thing with pitches in Pakistan is that it's not that they have extra bounce or movement throughout. They pitches in Pakistan, especially Lahore, Rawalpindi, they will have just the perfect pace for batters to hit through the line along with the perfect bounce. If there is an extra bounce, a factor of extra bounce, then maybe you can feel bringing in an extra pacer would do something. That is
Yeah.
also not going to happen, and the swing also isn't something that will last on till the 20th over. You know, around the 10th over, the swing is done, and that also is something that I'm stretching it. So that's what I feel. I mean, you can bring Fahim Ashraf in, but usage is going to be an issue. And see, I feel in T20s, you can still get away with an over because of the matchup issues and everything, with the teams wanting to take you on with an over or two of a part timer. But in ODIs, it becomes even more difficult because of the field restrictions, only four fielders outside, and then batters having far more time to accelerate. So it's
Yeah.
not as easy to get overs out of an Iftikhar as easily in an ODI than what it may be in T20s.
Yeah, okay. Sports fan, by the way, Nikhil, going on to ask us, and I just want your thoughts on this. Do you think Pakistan should have given a chance to Osama Mir for wickets in the middle overs?
Yeah, I think they could have, but they already have. See, the thing is, Shadab and Usama are they not comparable in that sense, but they're both bowlers who will give you some runs with the bat. But Shadab is still more economical as compared to Usama. Usama sometimes does tend to go for a few more runs, but again, very limited sample space there in terms of international experience as versus other sides. So, wouldn't be wrong if they give him that kind of chance. I don't know if this pitch is something that offers them that, but again, I think Fahim Osama will see these moves coming along, as Paji said, test out your chances now than trying to do it in the World Cup.
Okay, Pachi, take this one from Mohammad Irfan because I know it's a slightly tangent-oriented question, but do you think that's the case? Pakistan are getting proper match practice in this Asia Cup compared to India?
Yes, I mean India matches are getting rained out. In one of the games, the batters are getting game time. In the other, the bowlers are getting game time. But not really. It's not really in the hands of the players. I What I would say is that the combination of the Indian team is settled. But how will the form be going into the World Cup is something that is going to be concerning for the captain and the coach. And Pakistan in general have been playing a lot more ODIs as opposed to other teams. So that way, Pakistan will always have this overall settled look about themselves because of the number of ODIs that they've been playing in general. With India, because of uh, the matches that they are playing in other formats as well, the first team hasn't really played together that much. With Pakistan, that's not been the case.
Okay. Guys, I just want to ask Nikhil because he's obviously our fantasy in-house guru. Captains and vice captains and a day like this with Bangladesh batting first, can you spill the beans?
I think common options will always be Shakib Babar because Shakib is batting first. A lot of righties for Pakistan, apart from the top two there. So good option to try those common options. But Shaheen Shafrid is always there. Haris sort of bowling first. So is Naseem Shah bowling first. If you feel that Bangladesh could have a great day, then Tawfiq Ridwan is your man. I'll stick out to him. But only in grand leagues, don't try in small leagues. You have Rahim, as Padi said. Eventually, it's about how you feel the game will pan out. Uh, I felt runs for Imam, so I'll stick to that as well. So there are plenty of options, but great game for grand league. Multiple combinations, and then back to what you think will happen.
Okay, and a score prediction from you?
I'll hope for a 281 kind of a target so that we have a good chase.
Okay, 281. Paji, what have you gone for? 290, right?
I said I'll go for 297. I don't know. That's the number that's coming in my head. No logic whatsoever. Just
Yeah.
297. That's the number. That's
I always go for VVS, so sorry.
Okay, I'm going to go for 263 for 5. And actually, Pakistan to kind of have this fixture as a banana skin. I think they'll slip up. I'm not just saying that as a salty Indian fan, but genuinely think Shakib and the boys, there could be some snake dances in the Gaddafi today. By the way, on a completely somber note, it's good to see the teams having a minute silence for Heat Streak because the former Zimbabwean captain passed away earlier this week. So thoughts and prayers go out to his family
Yes.
from cricket.com side as well. Guys, it's been a fantastic preview as always on cricket.com. Fantastic to always chat with the viewers and asking them certain thoughts, questions, insights about what they feel. Quickly to wrap up, he's captaining Naseem and vice captaining Imam,
Yes.
which is a good shot. It's you
Let's
got the
let's let's celebrate this after the game, though. Let's.
Santosh, I mean, I tell you what, if you just get the nod of approval and the stamp of authority from Nikhil for your fantasy picks, you can't go wrong, man. You just can't go wrong. And Mohammed Al we'll see you in the post-match review. It'll be just the same three, Nikhil, Gurkiat, and me. Whenever the game ends, we're not doing a mid-innings for that. But until the next time, guys, we'll see you soon. Follow the live blog for written content. I know you guys are busy on this Wednesday, but we'll try our best to kind of keep you updated with all things cricket on cricket.com. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon from us. We'll see you soon.